Royal Mail Group has worked with national charity Mental Health Foundation to produce a series of short films about mental health and wellbeing for staff. We invited Royal Mail Group staff to share their stories of living with and being supported through mental health problems. By doing this, we hope to bring home the message that everybody has mental health, that mental health problems can happen to anyone, and that Royal Mail Group is committed to supporting staff who experience distress.
12 years or so I've been ill, suicidal more than once.
The longer you keep it in, the more introverted you become, and the more detrimental it is to you, because the side effects are you could contemplate harming yourself or suicide.
One of the things that I've learned about depression is that it doesn't matter who you are, and it's easier to accept the fact that you suffer with it and try and manage yourself and deal with it on a daily basis than it is to try and hide it away.
I think years ago there would have been more of a reluctance on the part of an OPG to come out, if you like, to open up, to seek that help.
It was a slightly different culture then than it is now.
I didn't want the stigma of what I saw associated with mental illness appearing on my records.
I felt that it would be seen that as a manager I wouldn't be able to cope, and actually I wasn't.
I had to seek help. It was a second period I'd been suicidal, and I knew I couldn't deal with it on my own. Initially I used the helpline. The way they spoke was wonderful. The immediacy of the telephone support line was positive.
First class support helped me because they were immediate. Spoke to somebody, understood what you were going through, which is great because when somebody else speaks about that then comes down a little bit, and that's that reassurance.
The occupational health and the helpline numbers are great. You can get any kind of support you need, not just for mental health, but any physical illness or anything you've got at all that's there. But for me personally, it was great because once I got the contacts that I needed to do to help myself and accept that I had depression and I needed to deal with that, everything I needed was in a line and dealt with for me.
We're really committed to tackling stigma of mental health in the workplace. Not only do we want to make sure we're part of the national, the UK drive to reduce stigma of mental health conditions, we also want to make sure that we're supporting employees, whether they're at work or if they're unwell or off work. We want to make sure we're supporting everyone with their mental well-being.
For staff and for managers alike, the services provided for counselling and stuff is second to none as far as I'm concerned. Generally when people have been off with an illness, if you were talking about mental health issues, they have a return to work schedule built for them, and that generally builds up to a point that the person regains their confidence, is able to enter the building having butterflies, if you like.
I was expecting some sort of stigma even then associated, and the nicest part about it was nobody treated me differently at all. It's just like, all right, coffee, get on with it.
There's still banter and there's still mickey taking and that as well, but people have been educated and had diversity training, and they do know now what's acceptable and what's not acceptable.
Giving and getting involved with people wanting to do positive things, that's uplifting.
When I see other people, and that takes the out of my mind, and I'm focused on them. I want to help them because I'm fantastic at giving advice. Can't take it.
In every office throughout the business, there are people like us that have mental health issues. And we would be more than willing to speak to those individuals.
I remember photographing a lady on a Boris push bike, and it was a beautiful shot, and it just gave me some light inside. So I discussed that with my GP and got back into photography, found something to get a bit passionate about. I started to get involved in charity work about the same time as well, and now I admin a group of some 300 people, raising tens of thousands of pounds every year. And that, giving and getting involved with people wanting to do positive things, that's uplifting.
We've come a long way over the last 20 years in the Royal Mail. There's obviously been a lot of change. 21st century, things move fast, and we need to make sure that we support employees through that change. Whether that is through the HR policies that we have or through the wellbeing programs that we provide, we need to make sure that employees know that we do care and we do want to help support people in the workplace.
If I can be open and honest about it, about my condition, then maybe it'll give somebody else the impetus to sort of come out and do the same.
That's the best part about OHS and Royal Mail. I know they care, and it allows me to get on with my day.